Hey Scott, good morning and welcome. I'm on your show. So there's no ego in this whatsoever. Anyways, welcome everybody. My name is Chris Shelton, and I practice a very ancient style of Chinese medicine called medical Qigong. I've been in clinical practice now for 20 years. I've been studying the internal arts of Qigong and Tai Chi for over 30 years now. And the style of Qigong that we're teaching for the public is to help with mental, emotional wellness. So we're taking in the consciousness, but also what can we do to help to prevent disease? Because according to Chinese medicine, the leading cause of death and disease is emotional stress and trauma. Big words right now in the medical community is inflammation. So what creates inflammation? Well, poor diet is going to create inflammation, but the stress that you carry internally also shows up as disease. So this is a very simple practice with profound results, and if there's anything that you like from today's practice, we have a YouTube channel. It's Chris Shelton Qigong, and we have the 30 days of Qigong on there for free. And so you could go to that YouTube channel. Also, every week we release a video on some health-related topic and how to work with it yourself, or technically speaking, not allowed to say treat, but how to treat it yourself. One of the practices we were talking about was migraines or acid reflux and GERD, depression, how to fix that yourself, to understand the etiology. So please take advantage of that, because it's something free that we put out to the public every single week. And the YouTube channel actually corresponds with my book, Qigong for Self-Refinement, Total Health with the 5 Elements. So once again, Scott, thank you so much for inviting me. This is so exciting. So if you can, we're going to go ahead and get started. And you can do this from a seated position or a standing position. What I love about Qigong is that it does not discriminate against age, gender, spiritual or religious background. It's meant for all people, to empower all people. So what's going to happen here is that we're going to go ahead, I'm going to step back a little bit so you can kind of see my feet a little bit. But what's going to happen is we're going to start off with our feet out about shoulders width apart. Our knees are going to be slightly bent. Toes are pointing straight ahead. And then from here, what's going to happen is I'm going to gently tuck my sacrum underneath. And by doing this, what happens is there's actually an acupuncture point right opposite the belly button called the gate of fire, the Ming Men. The gate of fire stimulates the kidneys, which relates to water. So it's a proper mixture of fire and water, which produces the steam or the qi that circulates around the body. All right, the tip of the tongue gently curls to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth as if saying the letter N. And I'm going to gently tuck the chin, pressing up on the crown point. So by tucking the chin, it automatically pushes up on the crown point, also referred to as the ba hui. So what I'm doing here is I'm elongating the lower lumbar, the thoracic, and the cervical spine. So I'm alleviating pressure off the spine itself. And in Chinese philosophy, they call this a Wu Ji posture, which simply stands for nothingness or emptiness, okay? So there's 3 regulations of Qigong. First is physical posture. Second is breathing. So I want our breath to be long, steady, even and deep into the lower abdomen. In particular, about 1 inch below the belly button. So like a newborn baby, I want you to feel the breath come in, expanding that abdomen, front, back, left, and right. And then as you exhale, you feel yourself becoming more calm and more relaxed. Inhaling, you feel the breath expand the lower abdomen, front, back, left, and right. And then as you exhale, feel yourself just relaxing, letting go of the thoughts of the day, being mindful of your practice for the next 20 minutes. And then from here, once we have the breath in and out through the nose to better regulate the flow of qi, we're going to begin with a practice that I call pulling down the heavens 3 times, inhaling. So just to center ourselves, setting our intentions for today. What do you hope to accomplish or get out of today? As I exhale, imagine this white light flowing down through the body, through the tissues, and down deep into the ground. I'm going to inhale again. What do I hope to get from this practice? What opportunities can open up for me? As I pull down the heavens, third pull, for myself, extending out the gratitude for LinkedIn and Scott for allowing me to be a part of this morning's breakout session. As I exhale. All right, the first practice here, you're going to lift the arms up about shoulder height. Inhale, it's called tossing the stone. I'm going to exhale to my right. Inhale in the center, exhale. Now you can go at your own pace here, and what I want you to do is I want you to gently gaze to the tips of the fingers. And if you have any tension or tightness in the fingers, I want you to allow for that to flow away like a dark cloud going several feet away from your body and down deep into the ground. So the third regulation of Qigong is mind intent. They say that the imagination leads the mind, and the mind leads the smooth flow of the Qi. And if you're somebody who has a hard time conceiving what Qi is, or prana, just think of it in terms of blood and fluids. Your blood is your Qi. We have a saying that the blood contains the Qi, and the Qi moves the blood around the body. So I'm gently shifting my weight back and forth here from left to right, helping to benefit the function of our lymphatic system. So as I shift, inhale, center, exhale. Once again, you go at your own pace, whatever feels good for you. And just allow for any excess of thoughts, feelings, or emotions to flow off like a dark cloud, going several feet away from the body and down deep into the earth. Again, maybe you woke up this morning with some tension in the shoulders and the neck. Just going to allow for that to release. All right, and then I'm going to slow down. I'm going to come back to the middle here. And I'm going to finish once again by pulling down the heavens 3 times, inhaling. And exhaling. So once again, just imagine this white light, your higher self, your higher consciousness, whatever that looks like to you. But just imagine this white light coming in, saturating the cells, the tissues. So I exhale. Let's do a third pull here. Inhale. And exhaling. All right, this next practice here, we're going to bring the feet a little bit closer together, and we're going to begin to lightly bounce on the balls of the feet, but this is not a calf building exercise, so try not to lift the heels off the ground. What we're doing here is we're stimulating the kidney acupuncture meridian called the bubbling well point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and gently close my eyes using my internal vision. Going to focus on the major joints of the body, because as we age, blood and fluids and Qi tend to get stuck in these joints. So I'm going to focus first on the ankles and allow for any tension or discomfort in the ankles to release out like a dark cloud, flowing out through the bottom of the feet and down deep into the ground. Next, I'm going to focus on my knees. Do I have any tension or discomfort in my knees? So I have my knees gently unlocked here. And then from here, just going to allow for that to release out through the bottom of the feet down deep into the earth. And then from here, focusing on the lower back, the hips, the groin. Any tension or tightness there, allow for that to release as well as a dark cloud, flowing out through the feet and down deep into the ground. Now, even if you don't have any pain or discomfort in these areas, just by bringing your mind into there helps to increase the consciousness of your body. Next, on the thoracic spine opposite the heart, in between the shoulder blades, if we have any tension there, or maybe any emotions affecting the heart, just allow for that to release, flowing down through the legs, through the feet, and deep into the ground. And then next, the fingers, the wrists and hands, going to allow for that to release if you have any pain, any carpal tunnel pain. Out through the ends of the fingertips and down deep into the earth. Next, my elbows, the shoulders, the head and neck. Just allow for all that to release out like a dark cloud, flowing out through the arms, out through the fingers, and down deep into the earth. And then from here, I'm going to stop bouncing. And then I'm going to inhale, rolling up on the balls of my feet, imagining that I'm grabbing golden light from the earth through the body, beyond the top of the head, and drop. So releasing out any toxicity deep into the ground. I'm going to inhale again. Going all the way up, pulling the energy beyond the top of the head, and release. Good. Let's do one more of those. Inhaling. Pulling all the way up, and drop. Very good. And then stepping out, feet out, shoulders width apart again. Pulling down the heavens one time. Inhaling. And exhaling. All right, this next practice here is one of my favorite practices. It's called shaking the tree, or shake it off, like the Taylor Swift song, because we are one of the only animals or mammals on land that does not shake it off when something happens. You know, if two ducks get into a fight, the fight lasts a few seconds, they swim away. The first thing they do is they violently flap their wings. Why? Because they're conscious enough to know that they feel that angst inside their body. So they held on to it like humans do. Then what would happen is they'd swim around the pond waiting for Bob to come around to pop them in the beak. All right, so the key here is that you have to relax with this one. We're going to start off with our fingers, inhaling and exhaling. Oh, there we go. That's what I want to see. So relax, inhaling. So the next time your spouse upsets you, just go into another room, shake it off. Maybe, I was going to say your boss, but I don't know if your supervisor. Probably not a good idea to do this in front of them. I go into another room, inhaling. Very good. All right, let's do one more. Inhaling. And beautiful. All right, then we're going to pull it back, pulling down the heavens one time. Inhale. And exhale. Just allowing for any excess heat or vibration to release from the body, deep into the ground. All right, next practice here, like we're holding a ball. Now, one arm is going to press forward, one arm is going to pull back. So I'm squeezing through my midsection here and elongating the lateral side of the body. Yes, that's how you do it. Now, if you want to, as you do the press, you could extend or elongate the ligaments of the hands, because right now what we're doing is we're actually working with our liver and gallbladder. And did you know that emotions of anger, frustration, rage, hatred, and old anger disrupt the functioning of the liver and the gallbladder, and then we start to see diseases like migraines, sleep disorders, maybe waking up between 1 and 3 a.m., digestive disorders, bloatedness. So we see things like colitis, IBS. Depression is as a result of the blood of the liver becoming congealed from holding on to this old anger. So what I want you to do to make this into a mindfulness practice is I want you to feel something past or present that has created anger or frustration for you. As you inhale, I want you to imagine a green cloud filling up into the right side of the body. Then as you exhale, I want you to imagine that anger from that situation, that resentment, leaving like a dark cloud, going several feet away and down deep into the ground. Now, as we let go of this, then what happens is the positive virtue of kindness and acceptance comes in. So I'm inhaling, exhale as you push away. Inhale, center, exhale as you push away. So the great thing about this style of Qigong is that we compose, or it includes, I should say, a mindfulness aspect, but then we have, which is considered yin, then we have a yang aspect, which we're not just doing the practice because it feels good, but because we're trying to create medicinal change and empowerment inside of our bodies. And especially in this time and space with what's going on, our nervous systems are heightened, and we're seeing a lot of health conditions show up as a result. All right, so I'm going to do a couple more here. And I'm just going to, one thing about anger. Anger is a good emotion if it causes you to create positive change in the world, to fight for the underdog, to get out of a bad situation. But if that anger is creating depression, migraines, like I said, digestive disorders, then it's no longer serving you. Okay? All right, we're going to do one more press. And then we're going to pull that energy into the body, pressing down, pulling down the heavens one time. Inhale. And exhaling. Really good. Yeah. All right. Next practice here is for the heart. Now there's two ways to do this. We could either hold a ball and press, or an easier way as I shift to my right is like I'm cradling a baby and then I press. So we'll start off with this way first. Get everybody in the same rhythm. So I'm inhaling in the center. And as I exhale, I'm allowing for the negative emotions that affect the heart, which is abandonment, loneliness, lack of joy, overexcitation, all damage the heart. So as I inhale in the center here, I'm going to imagine a pink cloud filling up into the heart. Then as I exhale, I'm going to imagine, well, any of those emotions leaving like a dark cloud going away from the body. And the heart, though, is the center of our consciousness, and it dictates how much an emotion will be expressed or suppressed. So if anything comes up for you right now, surrounding the heart, that's normal. I want you to feel it, who's involved, what was the circumstance, and then as you exhale, I want you to allow it to leave out the hands, going away from the body and down deep into the earth. And when we do this, then what happens is we bring forth the positive virtue of love. And it's not just a romantic type of love, but it's the universal love that all beings should have for one another. And by changing our consciousness, our vibration, our mental thoughts, we help to change the vibration of the planet. It's really that subtle. As I press, okay. Allowing for that pink cloud to come in. Now, if you want to try it the other way, then what's going to happen is that you're going to hold a ball. The hand that's on the bottom actually goes to the top. Then that hand that's pressing on the bottom goes to the bottom of the ball. Inhale and center. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. So once again, I'm just feeling those emotions, whatever that is. And I'm allowing for it to release out the hands like a dark cloud. And allowing for the love to take its place. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do two more of those. Inhaling. And exhale. All right, then I'm going to pull it back. I'm going to pull down the heavens one time. Inhale. And exhale. All right, now we're going to work with the lungs. All right, so right now, the lungs are most prone to disease. So I'm going to inhale. I'm going to imagine a white or silver cloud filling up into the lungs. As I exhale through the nose, I'm going to allow the emotions that attack the lungs as sadness, grief, sorrow, disappointment, shame, and guilt all attack the lungs. So if there's a situation in your life where you felt any of those emotions, maybe you lost a loved one, a pet has been put to sleep, or maybe growing up as a child, maybe you felt shame. I want you to feel that now. Then as you exhale, I want you to allow for that to release like a dark cloud out the hands, going several feet away from the body and deep into the ground. So in clinical practice, we actually will see people who, let's say, lost a parent or a loved one, and all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, develop an unproductive dry cough. That unproductive dry cough is not a sudden onset of asthma, it's actually the grief stuck in the lungs. So I want you to feel this. I want you to make it into a mindfulness practice. Feel the grief, feel the loss, and then as you exhale, allow for that to leave several feet away from the body and down deep into the ground. And then what we replace it with is the virtue of courage. That is the courage to move beyond the grief. And by the way, in my clinical practice, all neck and shoulder issues, unless you're doing jiu-jitsu and someone popped your shoulder out, or you're a pitcher and you pop the shoulder out, all shoulder neck issues are related to emotions that affect the heart. Inhaling and exhale. All right, let's do 2 more of those. Going to inhale. Exhale, allow that courage to take the place. 1 more time, inhale. And then from here, we're going to pull that white light in, we're going to press down, and then pulling down the heavens 1 time, inhale. And exhaling. Okay, really quickly here, go to work with my spleen. So I'm going to shift to my right. Well, I'm mirroring you, actually, I was to my left. Now your spleen is located on the left side of the body. It works in conjunction with your pancreas. And the spleen, stomach, and pancreas is affected by the emotions of worry, over intellectualizing, and thinking too much. Anxiety. So if you have a situation where you are anxious about something, I want you to imagine a yellow cloud filling up into the left side of the body where the spleen is located. Then as you exhale, I want you to imagine that leaving like a dark cloud. Allowing for the positive virtue of peace of mind to come in. And centeredness. All right. Time is already coming to an end here, so I'm going to bring it back to the center. We're going to finish off by pulling down the heavens 3 times, inhaling. Once again, just for your higher self, your consciousness, feel that radiate through the tissues. Exhaling. Second pull for this planet that sustains all life. Exhaling. And on my third pull here, my intention is for human compassion and kindness towards one another. Tolerance, acceptance. And then as we finish, placing the hands over the lower dantian or lower abdomen, 1 inch below the belly button, I want you to gently close your eyes and imagine a white mystical pearl. As you inhale, this white pearl expands, gathering the energy from the space around you. As you exhale, you allow for this white light to radiate around the waist to the kidneys on the low back opposite the belly button. Each time you inhale, the pearl gets brighter and brighter as you gather the energy from the space around you. And then as you exhale, you feel that warmth and that white light radiate around the waist to the kidneys. Now as you inhale, I want you to feel this white pearl condense. And then as you exhale, the pores open up on the skin, the energy rushes out like wind, front, back, left, right, above and beneath you, allowing your light to shine brightly on everybody on this call. Inhaling, 2 more breaths. Pearl expands. Exhaling, allowing to let go of the physical form and just allow your light to shine upon one another. And then last breath, inhale. Feeling rejuvenated, calm, centered, relaxed. As we exhale and the light expands. And then from there, we're going to slowly open up the eyes, shaking out the feet. All right, how are we feeling? Right on. Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you, Scott, so much for allowing me this opportunity. Such a pleasure seeing you again. And if there's any questions, please reach out. So.
Actually, if we have, let's just take if there's 1 or 2 questions right now, we'll give Chris a little time if we have any inquiry for him.
I had a question for Chris. Thank you so much for this session. I think my question was when you said that if you have pain in your kind of related to the heart. Like, I was curious why, what is in it that the heart that we are kind of blocking it?
Ah, very good question. So the acupuncture meridians, if you were to go online and look up the acupuncture meridians for the heart and the lungs, large intestine, and small intestine, which all relate back to the heart, these acupuncture meridians come up, and they all come up into the neck and into the face. So what happens is that when we suppress the emotional trauma, then what happens is that it creates what we call as channel pathology first. And this is what we wake up with, like, oh, I think there's something wrong with my pillow. I was walking the dog tugged me too hard. And the reality is that what's happened is that you've suppressed it, which then creates this channel pathology, and then it shows up as disease. Besides here in San Jose in downtown Willow Glen, we also have a clinical practice in Los Angeles. And so I see a lot of high profile celebrities down there. And one of my clients, Mike Kroger from the rock and roll band Nickelback, came in because he had cervical arthritis in his neck. And he did a testimonial for me. He said I got rid of his arthritis in 30 minutes. But really what happened was that I created for his body the ability to heal itself. But when I asked Mike, I asked him, I said, hey, Mike, what was going on before the horse died, before this neck pain showed up 3 years ago? And he said to me, Chris, I think it's the way that I slept. I think it's the way I hold my guitar on stage. And then he paused and he thought about it. And he said, you know what, Chris, actually 2 weeks before this showed up, my horse died. So guess what? His horse died. He took care of business, went back on tour. And then one morning his body woke up and said, guess what? You could pretend like that didn't hurt you, but it did. All right. So then, so this is how it affects the body. Great question.
Awesome.
And
All right. Thanks, Chris, so much. This was hugely valuable. I feel so much better. I always do. If you want to know more, we put Chris and Parisa, his partner, as well.
Yeah, my wife, my partner in crime. Yes. Yeah.
She's
So.
adding things in the chat. So thank you guys so much for sharing, and we know where to find you. So
Yes. Everybody have a blessed day. Thank you once again, Scott. Thank you for allowing me to have, these last 20 minutes or so. So have a great day. We'll see you soon.
take care.
Bye.
Take care.